Welcome to episode 3 of an incredibly oversimplified and abridged history of musical theater. Episode 3, The Golden Age and Changing the Mold of Musical Theater.
Between 1943 and 1959, the musical theater world entered into the Golden Age. This period was christened by a new musical duo, Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein II. Rodgers composed the music while Hammerstein wrote the libretto and lyrics. Before they established a creative relationship, they worked separately on other successful musical projects. But after Rodgers experienced conflicts in the long-standing partnership he had with Lorenz Hart, he approached Hammerstein to work together. Good thing this happened, otherwise we may never have gotten any of their outstanding works, including their first collaboration, Oklahoma.
Oklahoma further revolutionized musical theater by adding purposeful dance pieces into its production. Agnes DeMille, an American dancer, made her choreographer debut in Oklahoma. And what a debut to make! She helped Oklahoma integrate dance and plot in a way that had yet to be seen on stage. The dance numbers were no longer just a line of chorus girls. They reflected the characters' inner turmoil and helped express thematic ideas. This can be seen especially in the 15-minute dream ballet sequence. Yup, you heard right. A 15-minute dream ballet sequence. Within this sequence, Laurie explores her feelings towards her two suitors, Curly and Judd.
After Oklahoma, Rodgers and Hammerstein wrote numerous hit musicals, such as Carousel, South Pacific, The King and I, and The Sound of Music. These shows were often full of social thought and explored more serious themes, such as domestic abuse in their musical Carousel. The duo also introduced new and unexpected theatrical elements. For example, in The King and I, a main character performs their death on stage. These shows encouraged other creators to experiment with the mold of musical theater in their own productions.
Many of the shows produced during the Golden Age also reflected the American dream. This showcased ideas such as the need to make a moral home, traditional family roles, and that Americans had an independent and innovative spirit that helped them achieve success.
The Golden Age ended with the hit classic The Sound of Music in 1959. Edelweiss was the last song Rodgers and Hammerstein collaborated on together.
Da-da-da-da! We interrupt this episode for some fun facts. The first Tony Awards were held on April 6, 1947, though they were formerly known as the Antoinette Perry Awards. Antoinette's nickname was Tony. She was an actor, director, producer, and co-founder of the American Theater Wing. At the first awards ceremony, there was no Best Musical Award, but in 1949, when they finally introduced the category, Cole Porter's Kiss Me Kate was the first musical to win. Now, back to business.
In the following years after Oklahoma, dance started taking on a bigger role on stage, as more creators took their lead from Rodgers and Hammerstein. This was seen in shows such as West Side Story, Fiddler on the Roof, and Sweet Charity. Jerome Robbins, an influential choreographer, began the trend of combining the role of choreographer and director.
Throughout this time, Hollywood also continued creating film adaptations of stage shows, including Bernard Shaw's play Pygmalion, otherwise known as My Fair Lady, starring Julie Andrews on stage and Audrey Hepburn on screen. Television adaptations also became very popular, one of the more well-received adaptations being Peter Pan, starring Mary Martin. Speaking of Mary Martin, did you know she was considered to be a muse for Rodgers and Hammerstein? She originated both Nellie Forbush in South Pacific and Maria von Trapp in The Sound of Music. And speaking of Rodgers and Hammerstein, their production of Cinderella debuted as a TV adaptation starring Julie Andrews, who then went on to star in their film adaptation of The Sound of Music. The more you know.
Moving along, the 1950s and 60s saw Bob Fosse's career take off on Broadway. Fosse was known for his jazz hands, turned-in knees, and his use of props such as gloves and a hat. He choreographed hits such as The Pajama Game, Sweet Charity, and Has Succeeded in Business Without Really Trying.
The partnership of Kander, who composed, and Ebb, who wrote lyrics, emerged in the 1960s. They gained reputable status with their work on Cabaret. Bob Fosse later directed and choreographed the film adaptation.
The 1960s brought even more change to the musical theater world with the introduction of the rock musical. Hair opened in 1968 as the first rock musical on Broadway. The production was groundbreaking with its decision to put many taboo subjects on stage for the first time. Things such as homosexuality, nudity, and also breaking the fourth wall with cast members going into the audience during the show.
The music was also very different from what had been heard on Broadway before. Hair introduced African rhythms and popular music to the stage. Despite challenging societal norms of the time, Hair went on to have a successful run and influenced more rock musicals to come. Stay tuned for our next episode of an incredibly oversimplified and abridged history of musical theater coming this Wednesday.